welcome to raidlore Stories. So I am live on Twitch, and Twitch chat was really excited to tell me how Skullcrown and Sinisha both have new lore stories. Now we know that initially they're supposed to be sisters in the game, or at least they have tandem abilities together. So I'm curious if the lore is going to connect that. So let's read Skullcrown's story. To the minor accolades in the Cult of Cleth, the Knight Revenant portray themselves as stalwart guardians and virtuous warriors, battling to share the blessings of immortality regardless of rank. There are some, however, who do not bother with the theatrics. Among them is the woman, now known only as the Skullcrown, a figure seen not as a noble savior, but as a harbinger of terror and death. The adherents of Cleth are sworn to secrecy regarding the organization. The nature of its rituals and the identity of its members are closely guarded, as are its military, political, and financial activities. The secrecy enforced in new members from the beginning is absolute, and it falls to the Skullcrown to ensure it is maintained. The Skullcrown acts as judge, jury, and executioner. She enforces the internal laws of Cleth unstintedly, hunting down those accused of even minor of infractions. This discipline does not extend to the actual Knight Revenant themselves. If ever the concept of a rule for one and one for another has held true, it is for the cults of Cleth and its deceitful hierarchy. With other members, however, the Skullcrown is merciless, and a mere thought of her taking interest in a particular follower or cult cell is enough to ensure obedience. Few members a time before the Skullcrown's role as the cult's grim enforcer. Once named Almira, she was a child of Ulrath, a human necromancer. She served as her father's apprentice and assistant, guarding a century-old demon-spawned skull that Ulrath used as a focus for many of his rituals. The cursed relic whispered to its owner, telling them of lies spoken in its presence. While Ulrath made advances in his work, the immortality he sought always came with a price. Even though he cheated age and disease, his body suffered, always lingering on death's precipice. Almira, now a full-grown woman and a talented sorcerer of her own, grew sick of the rancid nature of such necromantic magics, of the endless festering cadavers and unquiet spirits. She yearned for what she thought of as a purer form of immortality, one that didn't turn both the body and soul rotten down the ages. The Cult of Cleth was the answer to Almira's quest. After discovering the shadowy organization and their soul transference, she swore herself to the organization, stole her father's demon-spawn skull, and handed it to them to prove her loyalty. Quick-witted, she soon realized that only those at the top had the greater chance of receiving new bodies. She began proving her worthiness by informing on her fellow cultists, exposing one who was selling soul gems as magical trinkets, and another who often spoke far too publicly at the local tavern. She was not the first Knight Revenant to take such a route, but she quickly proved herself among the most ruthless. When another member of the cult known for rooting out sedition, Murker, was himself exposed by Almira and executed for misusing his station, senior Knight Revenants chose to return her demon-spawn Skullcrown to her, after having it fashioned into a fearsome helm. Aware of the importance of reputation, Almira renamed herself the Skullcrown after her helm. Ever since, she has worked tirelessly to ensure absolute loyalty toward the cult. Indeed, so fearsome has her reputation grown that rumors persist. She's now the leader of a band of enforcers, garbed in identical armor with helms crafted in the likeness of the demon-spawned skull, and hinting the idea that she is everywhere at all times, forever ready to punish dissent. Okay, so that answers my question, is that her story does not actually connect her with Sinisha. So, I am curious about Sinisha's story, if they do find a way to kind of do that, or if Sinisha technically kind of works with this last part here, where they say that Almira leads a group of other Skullcrown warriors who wear the same outfit. So I am kind of curious about that. Guys, drop me some comments down below what you think of this story.